professor in LJ Engineering College, Ahmedabad. So, in previous session, we discussed about what exactly the general purpose system is, and also we discuss about different types of general purpose systems and application specific microcontroller, general purpose microcontroller, and many more. So in today's session we discuss about embedded system, right? What exactly the embedded system is, and the hardware units that it require to operate and monitoring a specific type of peripherals is, or based on the microcontroller, that which type of hardware that you want to select. So in today's session we discuss about, as you can see, we discuss about the embedded hardware units and devices in a system. So basically we discuss about the different types of embedded part, we discuss about the different types of protocol, we discuss about the different types of IO configurations, we discuss about the different types of peripherals, like we use different types of sensors, we use different types of modules, we use different types of content, and many more. So go ahead and we discuss about the different types of topic, So as you can see, in embedded hardware unit and its devices, we are talking about a power source, clock oscillator circuit and clock units, system timers and real-time clocks, reset circuit, power up circuit, reset and watchdog timer, reset, memory, input, output and IO port, buses, DAC and PWM, and also a ADC. Also, we discuss about the LCD, LED and touchscreen modules. We also discuss about the keyboard interfacing modules, pulses, model transceiver, and the interrupt handlers. So basically, in terms of the embedded hardware unit and its devices in a system, we discuss about this type of modules. So now we go ahead and we discuss about a first portion. It's a power source. Now, what exactly the power source is? See, to operate any type of digital circuit, we must have to connect with the power supply, right? Without connecting or without interfacing the power supply module, you cannot operate it. You cannot turn on the circuit, right? So ultimately, when we're talking about embedded system, or we're talking about any type of digital system, the first of all we require the power supply. Now, what exactly the power supply is? So here we discuss about the power supply. So normal voltage range and low voltage ranges. So in terms of the normal voltage range, we discuss about the 3.3 volt to 5 volt configuration, and up to if you want to interface with some motors, or if you interface with some other type of modules, some other type of actuators like relays over there, motors, right? So it can be support up to 12 volt, fine, and PLC support up to 24 volt. So ultimately it's all about variations that you want, right? So ultimately we discuss about the normal voltage range in terms of 5 volt to 12 volt for the microcontroller, and for the low voltage required, right now we work on a 3.3 volt to 1.7 volt too. We discuss about the different Wi-Fi modules, we discuss about different types of ESP modules chip. It can work on 3.3 volt. It is possible right now. In upcoming future, we also work in 1.7 volt. So this one is the latest invention because of the VLSI technology, right? So ultimately, the power source means what? We have to discuss about the normal voltage ranges and a low voltage operators. Now, clock oscillator circuit. Now, what is clock oscillator circuit? First of all, see, as a human body, right? Our heartbeat is work as a pumping, and if our heartbeat will be stopped, the man or a person will be die, right? So similarly, for the electronic circuit, the clock pulses work as a heartbeat of the particular module or the particular chip or the particular type of devices that you have. If you're talking about the clock oscillator circuit, then clock oscillator circuit will drive a particular component, will drive a specific applications. It works as a heartbeat of a digital circuit. So basically, it uses any type of microprocessor and microcontroller. Right now, in latest invention, the pulse generator, or we can say that Wi-Fi, or we can say that crystal frequency is inside the chip too. So this one is the latest invention, right? So in digital and analog circuit also use a crystal, like 555 is also using the crystal if you use some specific frequency generator circuit. So basically, the clock oscillator and a clock unit is generally used to generate the different types of clock pulses. System timers and real-time clock, as you already know, the timers and counters, it play a main role for counting any type of the object or counting any type of the persons. The timer and counter is always there. If you're talking about the timers, the timer is really used to count this particular time pulses over there. And the count is really used to count the different types of quantities or materials. Right? If you visit in any bank, as you can see, there are a number system over there. They are set the order of particular person entering inside a bank. So there are some order, right, from top to bottom. So as you can see, the counter is also there. So these are the small applications. In each and every application, the counter and timer right now, you can see each and every one. The best example of timer and counter is here. You can see in the Ford Crossroad, right? In each and every Ford Crossroad, you can see the timer right now, because you just see the timer and based on that you are getting an idea that you have to switch off your car or switch off your specific two-wheeler or four-wheeler you have. So it basically economic side also possible, or economically also it is reliable for the environmental condition also, because you save your fuel, right? Now the next we're talking about the RTC. The RTC means the real-time clock unit. The real-time clock unit is also play a main role to provide a timing of the particular devices or provide a time of the particular type of activities which is going on. I give you the best example of your smartphone. The RTC is also there. If you switch off your phone and if you turn on after 1 or 2 hours, automatically time will be updated because the RTC is there. You will count the pulses on the back end side with help of the CMOS cell, right? So it play a main role like RTC. Okay, so it's a real-time clock. Reset circuit, power off circuit, and watchdog timer circuit. Reset circuit is generally used to to stop your program and starting from the beginning if some misbehavior will be generated during the operation or during the task. So reset circuit is also there. Manual reset and automatic reset is also there. Timers in ATM and the alarm system, we are using the watchdog timer. If some unknown person will be or some unknown pulses will be generated during that time activity, so you can see with help of that particular timer you can stop it, right? So it's a best example of an embedded system. If we're talking about the hardware parts, then each and every component is play a main role. Memory, one of the most important part in any devices right now. The memory is required to store your data. If your task will be performed, then ultimately you have to save your data somewhere. So we're talking about the SRAM, DRAM, RAM, ROM, EEPROM, and PROM. Permanent ROM, electrically erasable permanent ROM, random access memory, ROM, dynamic memory, and static memory. Input, output, and I/O ports, I/O buses, and its I/O interfaces. So this is the main part. If you connect any microcontroller, if you connect any sensors with the microcontroller, then ultimately you have to know the input pin and output pin. Which protocol is really going on the particular sensor interfacing or particular sensor part, you have to know very well. So first of all, you should know which pin is work as an input and which pin is work as an output. Which particular protocol you have to use for interface this particular sensor. Suppose if your sensor is support the I2C protocol, then you have to use that particular pin. Suppose if you want to use a Bluetooth, then Bluetooth is generally support a specific UART protocol, then you have to use that particular pin. So input and output pin is play a main role. First of all, you have to clear about that. Which pin is work as an output and which pin is work as an input. And if you're talking about the port, then we are talking about the different types of interfacing models, serial, parallel, and wireless. Right? Okay. DAC and ADC, it is generally used to connect any type of the sensor that you're gonna use. Suppose if you want to use analog sensor, then you have to use ADC conversion, but ultimately ADC is generally inside microcontroller can understand only the digital part, right? So ultimately you have to convert from the analog part to digital part and digital part to analog for the specific application, right? Okay. LCD, LED, touchscreen, and display. So basically LCD and LED and the display is used to visualize your output, which is going on inside the microcontroller, and what exactly the task currently performing inside the microcontroller, right? So first of all, you should know very well which task is really going on. So Here we use LCD, LED and touchscreen module for the interfacing point of view. You can interface any type of the LCD with your microcontroller, any type of specific sensors with the microcontroller. So here you can see 16 cross 2, 16 cross 4, 20 cross 4, we have different types of LED modules, normal LED and power LED for the visualization point of view. And also you can use a touchscreen for providing different types of inputs, like it can be a capacitive or it can be a resistive. Keyboard interfacing, one of the best example is USB and PS2. First of all, we use a PS2 type of cables, and right now we use a USB type of the interfacing modules for connecting with any type of sensors or any type of the keyboard with the microcontroller. It based on your application that you have. Pulse director model and the transceiver to generate the different types of pulses, generate the different types of frequencies. We have to use a pulse director, and the transceiver is play a main role to generate the different types of communication establishment. It can be RF, or RF can be used a 433 megahertz, it can be a 1 megahertz, it can be a 4 megahertz, you can use any gigahertz configurations. It can be only transmitter, it can be only receiver, it can be a trans receiver. So it is possible with help of this type of modules. So I hope that you are getting the idea about what exactly the hardware part is required or hardware parts in embedded system. And if you have any doubt in this type of the methods or this type of the conversation or any, you can find out if you have no idea or if you are not getting properly in which particular topic, or you can say that with particular module interfacing, like it can be a keyboard, it can be a I2C protocol about understanding. So you can tell me. Okay, so thank you for watching.